Pass.
I would use the server.
I would use that hack.
Or just increase the
If you go
explosion
walk
radius.
around with the mortar.
Hey guys, this is ZeroT. And as YouTube viewers, I'm sure you guys, if you're subbed to a lot of Battlefield 3 channels, have seen a lot of Canals TDM gameplay posted on a lot of different channels. Whether it's for weapon reviews, analysis, weapon changes, or just like regular gameplay within friends and stuff. There's a lot of Canals TDM gameplay on YouTube. And because of that, I've tried to stray away from posting too much of that on my own channel. But recently, a couple of big YouTubers like Rival X Factor made some sort of like tip videos on how to play this map more effectively. And watching those videos, I didn't think that they gave you enough of the information you need to get that much better at playing this map. They basically said, stay to the outside and then you'll do fine. And while it is important aspect of how to play this map, it doesn't really give you, it's not as in depth as I wanted it to be. So I decided to put together a tutorial video on how to play Canals TDM on my own. So over the past 2 weeks or so, I've been recording all the games of No Shot Canals TDM I've been playing, and I recently just clipped them all up, and I'm going to be putting that as a backdrop, and hopefully I can use that to explain, or to better explain, how to play this map, how to move from place to place, and how to use your environment in cover, and even how to shoot better and get better at this game, and why playing this map will make you that much better at all that kind of stuff. First off, one of the best reasons to play this map is there's a lot of guns in this game that aren't effective or aren't really viable options for a lot of the game types and game modes available in this game. And there's such a large, vast array of guns in this game, but so many of them, if you just play the regular games in game types, you won't really have an option to use them, or you'll be putting yourself at a big disadvantage for using them. Like say like using a close quarters weapon on like Caspian Conquest or something. But one of the cool things about playing No Shot Canals TDM is pretty much any gun you can think of or that's available in Battlefield 3 is a viable option to use in this game. PDWs, shotguns, sniper rifles, auto sniper rifles, auto shotguns, engineer weapons, support weapons. Basically, anything you can use you can be used properly and effectively on this map. There's a lot of variety as to gunfights, and if you learn how to play the map, then you learn how to pick and choose your gunfights. Whether you have a fast rate of fire gun, or a slow rate of fire gun, or a close quarters gun, or a long range gun, you can cater the way you move around the map to fit that playstyle that'll best fit the gun you're using and the weapon you're using, and whether you're playing with friends and all these kind of stuff. If you take them into account, you can maximize your effectiveness of this map. And a lot of people say that Canals is just like a stat boosting map, but that's only because the players that play on it have so much experience with the map and so much knowledge of the map that they can cater their playstyle to fit whatever weapon they're using or whatever gun they're using. And some people will just use the same gun over and over, so then they'll have that same fit playstyle every single game. But you can expand to that and basically use more weapons, and that's what I'm going to try to showcase in this video. I'll be using a lot of different guns and a few different classes, and basically show you how you can be effective in whole different ways. And one of the major topics when I was going through brainstorming what I was going to tell you guys about how to play this map better is basically every time you're moving in this map, it's not to go find the other enemies. I mean, that's part of it, but basically what you want to do is you want to transition yourself from cover to cover. There's a lot of different cover areas and cover points in this map, and you basically, when you play this map enough, you'll learn to utilize utilize these different cover areas to your advantage. You see right there, I was just behind that little block right there, which gives me a good head glitch spot where it's really hard for them to shoot me, but if they're running out in the open, I can pick them off pretty easily. And that doesn't mean you have to tone down your aggressiveness. You can still push, and you can still be very super aggressive. However, you just got to pick your times and choose the points when it's where they're weakest, and when you just take, let's say you take a couple guys from behind cover, then you transition yourself to the next cover, and if you're running from cover to cover, you don't want to shoot people while you're running, because then that'll leave yourself exposed. And once you learn how to play to this play style, you'll be living a lot longer and you'll get a lot more kills. And a lot of cover points you'll see me using in this video, you can use yourself. So pay attention to where I am when I'm shooting people, and how I get there, and the transitions between when I'm shooting somebody and when I'm moving to someplace else. And you can take this sort of idea to the next level by playing with friends. You know, if you have a lot of people that like to play with each other, if you play on this map together and you choose the assault kit, you can trade off this aggression and push it to the next limit. Let's say you have some guy, a teammate, covering you from behind some cover point. Let's say like that green box in front of where I was just looking. Let's say you have a teammate there, and then you're going to push up and try to force the action on the enemy. You have that ability that even if you go down, you have that savior point behind you where he can come and get you up. So once you both learn how to play the map to the finest extent, you can trade off that aggressive and non-aggressive actions, and you keep each other up for a long time. So you see a lot of these clips I'm posting. I'm playing with some friends, and we're on voice chat, and we'll call to each other if we go down. We'll be like, oh hey, I just went down over here, and it's sort of a give and take relationship. Basically, if your buddy dies when he was being aggressive, you should return the favor and run across the map and revive him. And this sort of like symbiotic relationship where you're both helping each other, it really helps out along the way. You know, a lot of people they don't like to give up the danger and risk of going across the dangerous area for these dangerous quick Rambo revives, as a lot of people call them. But if you're working together with like 2 or 3 people, you can become a super effective team, and you can put up some pretty nasty scores playing this kind of map. Now to talk about the 4 major spawn points. You see right here where I am right now is underneath the crane. So that's basically what we call, you know, under crane, or we can call it crane, as long as there's no one camping on the crane, which I particularly frown upon. But there's a spawn point behind me, and it's basically the back side of this back crane area. And where I'm shooting now is the barge area, which is this little red sort of floating barge area with a couple crates on it. And that's another spawn point. And even farther behind that, straight down where I'm looking, where you see that bridge down there, and to the right of that is the train yards area. And there's a spawn point up there, and they'll spawn all over the middle of there, and even down a little bit below that, so like under trains. And right in front of where I am now, this is the triangle area, and this is where there's a 3rd spawn point. You see, to my right here, over to where I'm staring at, or to the far right, there's this green box out in the middle of nowhere, and in between this triangle area that I was just at and that green box area are a couple spawns. So that's the 4th spawn point. So there's 4 major spawn points. There's the triangle spawn, the crane spawn, the barge spawn, and the train yard spawn. And once you learn these spawns, you can sort of utilize your positioning, so you can avoid being in a dangerous position by having to fight people that are just spawning. And a lot of times there'll be people with spawn protection, and it'll be hard to take out. And it's even worse and a little harder to take on spawn points on 64-man maps, as the spawns, they change more erratically. Yeah, there you go, erratically. And I'll get into that a little bit later. What I want to talk about now is how you learn to identify where these spawns are going to take place, and And how you do that is basically pay attention to the map and where your teammates are, and basically the gaps are going to be filled by the enemy spawn points. So let's say that your whole team is over crane triangle area, like this little situation right now. They're going to be spawning either here at barge, or more likely over at trains, because you're pushing up through the barge area. So they're not going to spawn. The game's not going to spawn the enemies right on you most of the time. You know, if you play with a lot of 64-player, matches, there'll be so many players, teammates around the other spawns that they'll actually spawn them right on you sometimes, which it gets a little crazy, but that's basically why you got to pay attention to your map. And that's obviously given because this map knowledge and map awareness, it helps you build so many other principles that you can use, even taking it one step out of this game type. Let's say I had a buddy that came to me and said that one of the biggest things he gained knowledge-wise from playing Canals TDM is the ability to use his map more effectively, and even like a game in Conquest and Rush games, that he was able to see people sneaking up on him, and he was able to better navigate through the environment of the game with this extra map knowledge that he gained from playing Canals TDM. So basically, what you want to be able to identify all this subconsciously and without second thought, and it'll all come with practice. Another big skill that you can learn in Canals that you can take to other game types and other game modes is basically gun skills, and this is what a lot of people like to play this map for, because Canals TDM, it'll simulate like the highest per minute or so gunfights that you can encounter, unless you want to play like 64-man Conquest Domination, which is just ridiculously crazy, people spawning all over the place. But this is the best, where you still keep control of what you do and your safety, and you still have this high volume of gunfights. And this leads to a lot of opportunity to raise your gun skill and your accuracy and your how you approach gunfights. For example, like I was talking about earlier, when you're taking cover, you have a lot more time to aim at your enemies and to pick your shots. So because you're completely covered, they're the ones at the disadvantage, and they're the ones that you have to force to make this crazy moves or something to escape with their lives and stuff. So you're putting the pressure on them to make the thing. So this gives you an opportunity to work on your accuracy. Let's say you're behind some cover and you have a tad bit more time than normal. Take that extra time to aim your shots a little better, and you can either go for headshots or you can go for accuracy. And I think both are legitimate tactics. You can either aim for the upper chest area, and if you're hitting a high volume of shots, you can still drop enemies with relative ease. And the other option, like I said, is going for headshots. What you want to do is you want to aim for your head, and you're not gonna hit the same volume of numbers, because the head is a lot smaller area to aim at than the upper chest. But where headshots really comes into handy is that extra multiplier it gives you. It drops enemies a lot quicker, especially if you're hitting your shots. And a lot of good players, they can lock on you really fast with really high accuracy. And if you're hitting these headshots, you can drop them a lot easier than if you're just going for their body. And so a lot of good players will outshoot you if you're just going for body shots, but you can outshoot even the best players if you're good enough at getting headshots. And that's one thing that you should utilize your time playing this map on to work on. And it's something that always keep you motivated. You know, you always can get better gun skills. You always get higher accuracy and get more headshots and all this kind of stuff. And that's some of the stuff that keeps me motivated playing this. Especially gun to gun, I like to look at my specific gun accuracies and headshot ratios and stuff like that. But that's a personal preference. Beyond that, you can do a lot of stuff like that. Like a lot of people prone and snipers unaware. You get a lot of little troll kills and stuff. But to some general tendencies that I've learned with the experience I have on this map is I basically already told you the 4 basic spawn points, and we'll go by that. It's a lot easier, especially on say 32-player canals, to when you're moving around the map, to move in a clockwise direction. That's from crane to barge to trains to triangle, and you go around in that sort of direction. Uh, it's particularly hard to fight from triangle over to trains on that side of the map. Basically, the best way I found to do that is to go through not really the middle area, but there's this little edge of the middle area. You have these little stack up crates that me and my friends, we call it pocket because it's kind of like a little U shape. Basically, going through there is the best bet if you wanna if you want to take on that counterclockwise motion. But especially on 32-player maps, I'd advise against that. And speaking onto the topic of 32 versus 64, it's not that you can't be effective at both of them. It's basically you can be more aggressive on 32-player because you're not you don't have to look out for as many people, and there's always people like looking in some stupid direction, and so it's easier to get picked off while playing 64. But 64 gives you that higher volume of gunfights, and you can get a ton of kills if you play it right. But basically, you have to use more head glitch spots, and you have to be a tad bit more campy on 64-player matches to be super effective. And you'll have a lot more poor games along with some good games mixed in there. This is basically all I wanted to cover when I set out to make this video. I hope that all these tips and tricks, as general as they may be, will help you become that much better at playing this game type. And I hope you were able to sit through this video. It's a little long, but a lot of work into it. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And as always, you can ask any question you want in the comment section, and I'll answer you as soon as possible. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys later.